All right, now for the drama segment of the day. I don't know about this one, bro.
In that office. It's important to note that the office environment for me was extremely hostile. Not only
Chat, I said I would do a drama segment. This was the one that was linked to me. If you guys want better drama segments, 2 streams at one. Wait, are they both? Is he also looking at this? Oh, no.
Because I was being treated
Are you serious?
by a couple of individuals, and the people that I went to for help were not helpful at all. But because there was just a consistent disrespect to other people's opinions and beliefs. And this went as far as to just consistently hearing the F slur. And not even just in jest, like as a joke. It was specifically, targeted towards people that it was supposed to discriminate against. Even so much as to walk past the socials room, the guys that run the, kick streaming and kick community, and hear the N-word just dropped. Hard R. And I'm like, what is this office? How? And they had the executive, like the upper management was in the room. And I just sort of was like, what did I just hear? I couldn't believe it. And it's like, I came from companies that if you said anything slightly offensive, you were in trouble, if not fired. Like, and I think
What I want to say probably isn't like the most careful. I was just thinking like let's not fuck up Kick contract options. I was just thinking like you're working for Kick, bro. Like, it's not gonna be like working for Blizzard or YouTube. I'm just surprised she was surprised. I couldn't believe it. What was she thinking? She was going to like fucking Twitch headquarters? Like, what do you mean? She's working for Kick, bro.
I think, there is a balance that you have to strike, but
New
at
Blizzard,
the end of the day, it's the company's responsibility to ensure that everybody feels safe and welcome. I even remember seeing a couple of people in my team laughing because they were deliberately misgendering transgender streamers. Like, how do you function in that environment? So in regards to my resignation letter, a lot of it was blurred. This was just due to the fact that a lot of it was personal information that wasn't really relevant, or it depicted another staff member whose story is not mine to tell. But the part that you could see that I really didn't want public, but I knew if I blurred literally the entire thing out, it would have zero impact and people would just assume that it was fake anyway. So I speak about the fact that I needed flexible working arrangements and that they were revoked. A lot of people...
So she quit because she couldn't work flexible working arrangements?
Assumed that I needed to be home all the time, or I was working from home, or I wasn't showing up from work, or I was taking a ridiculous amount of time off, which is just absolutely not the case. So my daughter started school in February, and every second week I needed to pick her up. So I would get in at around 9:30 after dropping her off. I wouldn't take any breaks or have lunch, and I would leave by about 2:30. It's important to note that a lot of staff members work from home, and we absolutely didn't have a stringent office working environment where we couldn't actually access information outside of the office, especially my team where we had to work 24/7 because we were the POC.
Yeah, that is my question.
And also I was consistently working.
She was okay with it up until the point where she couldn't take time off.
Work hours after doing a day's work. So it was very normal to work from home anyway, and all I needed to do was work from home for a couple of hours at the end of the day to pick up my daughter every second week. You can imagine it was a surprise to me when the manager of the Partis team, yes, the same guy that has been going around spreading lies about me, sat me down and just flat out said that my flexible working arrangements would be revoked effective immediately and I need to find alternatives. I found it absolutely disgusting that was effective immediately when basically giving me no time to come up with an alternative. And not to get too personal, but I don't have anybody to lean on. I don't have friends or family that can help me out here, and they were very aware of that. So for me, there was no other options. They were basically telling me to choose between my child and my work. Of course, I asked if this had anything to do with my performance, because to me that was the only excusable reason that they could have to even revoke the rights, but to do it so suddenly. I was told in that meeting that it had absolutely nothing to do with my performance, which made sense to me because I wasn't underperforming at all, and I hadn't been told ever that I was underperforming. So it would have been very out of the blue for them to just say it in that meeting and not tell me anything prior or give me any kind of notes prior to that, like, oh, please work on this, or you need to do better here. When I asked what the reason was for this insane backflip, they told me that my parental responsibilities were becoming a burden to the team's morale and that it was going to have an effect on their performance. And as you can see, this was solidified in this email. Yes,
We've given you the benefit of the doubt for the past 2 months and letting you work from home during the second half whenever you have required to do so. However, next week and onwards, i.e. from April 22nd, we have requested the request to leave half day if you are unavailable to work the full 7.5 the office. We discussed how this might affect the team in the long run from, okay. So she would just have to request it now instead?
I have blurred out the rest because it's totally irrelevant and I want to make sure that this stays on track. This was very hurtful. You know,
I don't get it. She didn't get it revoked. She just has to put in a request now instead of just doing it?
if you're a parent, you know that your morale is also very low, especially if you're working full time. So to hear that other people's morale was low, from me having to run around like a psychopath every morning and every night trying to, scurry together to get her to school, to get to work, to leave work, to go get her, it was a lot of pressure on me, and it's a lot of pressure on anybody. And to be so blatantly just disregarded, and overlooked in that moment, it really sucked. Look, I wasn't at all surprised about being treated like this because the way that company is run is unimaginable, but it did make me sad being told that basically my daughter was a burden to other people. I also referenced in his resignation letter that I was being mistreated by a couple of co-workers. I'm not going to get into this right now because honestly,
my personal opinion though is like I don't think children should be a full reason to get things that other people don't get, right? I think it's like smokers getting certain breaks that non-smokers get. I think everyone should equally have that right, and I think with most jobs that's the way it is. Where if you have a child, most people don't get work from home privileges. They have to work just like everybody else. I think it was pretty nice to get work from home privileges because she had a child. But I read the thing, it just said that she would need to request it. So it's not like she got it taken away. I'm a little confused.
There's a lot to say. I actually made a video that was an hour and a half long about Kick, but I decided that I kind of came off a little bit like this guy. So I'm not going to release that right now. I'm just going to go into my last month at the company and what was the turning moments that made me go, this is absolutely not worth it anymore. So after being told that I couldn't have flexible working arrangements, I sought out the CMO, that great guy, and I was like, what do I do? Where do I run? Who do I speak to? Blah, blah, blah. He goes, I'll speak to Ed. Ed is the one that basically fires you or he doesn't because of these types of issues. So every single day I came in, I was like, okay, I'm expecting them to give me an answer. A week went by, 2 weeks went by, 4 weeks went by, and I'm still chasing this guy up. Like, what's going on? Can you just let me know? Like, can we talk about alternatives? I'm happy to do an extra day on the weekend if I have to. Like, I wanted to continue to try and move this platform to a good place, a safe place, a savory place for the industry. And I couldn't do that if I didn't work here. And honestly, they need all the help they can get in that regard because most people that work there really don't give a shit. I actually never got clarity on this at all. I actually quit before I ever got clarity about it, so who knows what would happen. The stress of not knowing was definitely a part of wanting to leave, but there were two specific incidences in my last couple of weeks, maybe 3 to 3 weeks, that really solidified the fact that I was absolutely not in the right place. One of these incidences was when I was in a meeting, and for those of you who don't know, there's a creator on Kick who got a contract through one of the bigger streamers. This creator has special needs, and we gave him a contract out of good faith and the fact that this bigger streamer was quite a fan of him. Quick side note, I grew up with a severely autistic cousin, and I am very in tune with the needs and well-being of anybody with a disability. So I wanted to follow up on this guy's contract renewal because the POC was the manager of the partners team. And I don't know if you guys have figured this out or not yet, but he's a massive dick. So I was really concerned that this streamer wasn't going to be treated well, and I was right. When I asked about this streamer's contract renewal, he had a smirk on his face and goes, I decimated his rate. And this was apparently fucking hilarious because everybody else in the room laughed. I said, well, what did you put it down to? And he proceeded to then brag about the fact that he got him on a below market cent rate for an English streamer. Everybody thought this was funny, and I was shocked. And even if I think about this too much, it actually makes me cry because the thought of how bad this streamer must have felt, it's just not right. And the level of just cruelty there as well, and just absolute no compassion towards the fact that this person, there are no words. I have no words about this. It made me, I don't use the word hate very often, but it made me hate this person, which was very difficult because he was managing that team that I was a part of. Being around these people and those people who thought it was funny became impossible. And this is amongst a billion other things that I put in that hour and a half video that I won't release, but I think this kind of adequately depicts the type of people that are pulling the strings behind this platform.
Everyone would be excited about getting a streamer at a below rate contract, regardless of their any kind of problems that they would have. I don't understand. If anything, they're treating this person just like anybody else in this situation, right? They're not looking at them as somebody who is disabled. They're looking at them as a competent streamer that they got at a lower market rate. If anything, I think that if they were like, we got this guy with severe autism at below market rate, fucking stupid autistic guy, then it would be like, yeah, of course. Okay, what the fuck? But it seems more like they got this very competent streamer at below market rate and they felt excited and giddy, if anything, about that. It sounds like they just were treating him like a typical streamer in any situation. I think business-wise, that would make sense.
The second reason, so the second incident that happened about 2 days.
I think I'm not really understanding. Maybe if she explained this a little bit better, as a contract, getting a contract for a streamer at a below market rate is it's like something great if you're a platform who is very new and trying to compete with giant platforms like YouTube and Twitch. I don't think that, if anything, it just sounds more like they weren't looking at him as a disabled person and she was looking at him like a disabled person. And I think that that is a little bit more telling, if anything.
Prior to me leaving, which really solidified it. I walked out of this meeting, called my friend and was like, it's done, I'm done, I'm out of here, I cannot do this anymore. We were talking about the fact that they were trying to get a very beloved Twitch streamer over to Kick, to stream Snake as well. And And just for context, this particular streamer had been publicly battling cancer recently. So they decided to utilize that in their strategy to get this person over. The conversation very quickly became quite sinister.
It's business.
I'm going to say a quote, and something that I cannot get out of my head because it's so heinous to me.
It's horrible, but
and I think it will speak
business.
volumes in, you know, the type of...
This is very typical business. Twitch would do the same. It's actually really terrible. I'm sorry, ethicality and business just don't go well together sometimes. I don't want to put her down for this, but this is, if you were in any Fortune 500 kind of company, this is just how it is. It's fucked. It's horrible. It's not good. I don't appreciate it. I don't think it's good, but yeah, of course they're going to have a strategy to have that play into because you want every situation to be able to build. I don't think it's a good thing. I'm not condoning it in any way, but I'm not surprised at all.
Characters that work there, which is why
So if ethicality is your problem, then yeah, I don't think working for a business like this is really going to work in any situation. If you're working for like any major bank or anything like that, this is going to be any corporation is going to be like this.
Get out. The quote that I remember hearing was, "We can get her on Kick streaming Snake for a relatively low price because she probably thinks she's going to die soon and she'll want to leave more money for her family." When I heard that, I actually was surprised. I sort of looked up in surprise. And everybody else was sort of looking at this person that was speaking and just being like, yeah, you know, that's true. Let's go with that. Like, I think we can get this person.
Yeah, that's a fucked thing to say. For real. That's fucked up
to say. I was in hell and I was talking to the devils and I was talking to demons. Like, and these demons were plotting to, you know, take over the world and I had to stop them. Like, it felt so bad when I walked out of that meeting. I actually ended up going home early because I needed to have, after having that conversation with my friend, I just needed to really, really think hard about whether I could stick this out. And obviously my decision was that I was going to walk away. I had no intention to expose the company, although a lot of people that I did speak to about these issues, like throughout the entire time I was there, and then obviously when I left and the reasons why, they said that people should know about this, especially because this company has so much influence. Letting people know about what's going on behind the scenes might help them hold them accountable, and there is nothing without accountability. And right now, they are not accountable for anything. As you can see, they just let shit slide. They do anything. They don't care about pedophiles on the platform. Like this guy right here, I had to fight tooth and nail to get this guy off.
Yeah, that guy needed to get the fuck off the platform. Like, I don't know what they were. Sometimes some of these people, like, bro, you're just gonna. I think, and if you care enough about business, right? Yeah, it's going home early instead of standing up for it is some. But she could feel like her job is on the line. So it's good to keep it, to be a little pragmatic about it and give her the benefit of the doubt. But I think that this kind of shit is so fucking bad for their own market value, that the fact that they didn't move quicker on people like this and some other people who are on the platform who are just absolutely weird is only going to tear their platform down and really fuck them over. You have to be careful when you're banning people off of platforms and be really positive that you're making the right choice. Otherwise, you can get a huge amount of backlash or even lawsuits. Like Dr. Disrespect is suing Twitch, right, for wrongful termination. So, like, you do have to be very careful. I don't know how long it was before they found out that this guy was a real freak and banned him, but they fixed moderation according to X. I can't say, but I would assume so. I would say if he said it, then it is most likely very true. Visibly better, they're banning more people. Yeah, and they should, They should ban people who are not appropriate on the platform. And this guy's a fucking freak, bro. I watched a video about him. Like, bro, whoa. Get your shit together.
I mean, if you haven't seen the video, it's
like mentally inept person should not be on the platform. Crazy guy.
It's so heinous. It's so wrong. And the fact that everyone.
But they did ban him, so I don't know.
I just keep got banned. I'm sorry to the child that, you know, that might upset you, but it's about your own safety, and especially on Kick. I feel like sometimes Kick should be like under it. I still don't know because I saw this tweet about 2 or 3 weeks ago where a prominent staff member is promoting on Twitter an 11-year-old boy who, whilst I was there, I was the reason why this Kick got banned. I'm sorry to the child that, you know, that might upset you, but it's about your own safety. And especially on Kick, I feel like sometimes Kick should be like under it. You can't even be on it under 18. This child was banned when I was there because, you know, I did have zero tolerance towards it because children need to be protected, not only against the people on the platform, but you need to protect children against.
Yeah, but Twitch also doesn't allow, or also allows children to be on the platform. You know what I mean? if they make the platform an 18 plus platform only, then there's a lot of conditions that come with that as well. So I think that if with parental supervision, I guess, but I personally believe, and this is a wholehearted belief, that anyone under the age of 18 should not be allowed to be streaming or uploading videos on YouTube. I feel like it should be the law. I personally believe this. I don't think that anybody under the age of 18 should. I think it is a really stupid thing, and I think it's very dangerous. And I think that you are too stupid, and I mean this wholeheartedly. I'm sorry if anybody who's young is out there. I think you are too stupid to be able to protect yourself from horrible people if you're under the age of 18. Even at 18, you're pretty fucking stupid. But under the age of 18, I think you're just way too stupid. And there are too many people. I know about the 4chan raids that used to happen on Twitch streamers, where they would get them to like microwave their PCs and batteries, or like give credit card information from their parents and stuff. Like you just under the age of 18, you should not be. And this is just, like I said, this is a personal thing. I'm not in charge of any kind of rules or regulations, but I personally think that young children can't really understand long-term ramifications of their actions and don't understand how life-ruining it could be if they fuck up. And I think it can create extreme problems for them in the future. And I also think the parents can sometimes take advantage of young children and how easy it is to make money off of these young children by putting them up on the internet and make a bunch of money exploiting them and then steal all their money and fuck them over, which happens a lot in Hollywood too. And it happens to these young YouTubers as well. So I just personally don't think that it's the right place for them until they're older. Maybe 16. I'm a little harsh by saying 18, but I just feel like at 18, you're a full-fledged adult, do whatever you want. It's just a little dangerous, in my opinion, to have children being content creators. I just think that personally.
And being, exploited by their parents, which you see on YouTube all the time.
Yeah.
You need to protect children from people on the streams. Like,
no, I agree with her.
Or, a bad character came into his stream and started saying horrible things that you can only imagine.
Yeah.
I would feel guilty for that, and who knows what that's going to do to that child.
I mean, you can't protect the children from hearing horrible things, but you need to protect them from being able to make stupid decisions until they're able to. You don't even have a full functioning brain until the age of 26, bro. Like your prefrontal cortex isn't even fully developed until 26. So, under the age of 18, when you're still in puberty and you're actually mentally inept, and I mean this wholeheartedly, you are literally inept. You just shouldn't. I don't think you should be a content creator. I just don't think it's safe. I think it's very dangerous.
As he grows up. Ugh, God, it's I just can't believe these people. Anyway, so as you can see in the tweet, he's just promoting him. He's reinstated his account. The kid gets featured all the time, and he's verified. And he's 11. And the reason I know he's 11 is because on his Facebook page that he used to stream on, it says, "I turned 11 in Dallas." They just blatantly ignore their terms of service, which are in place to protect children from dipshits.
I'm almost positive that the terms of service would say anybody under the age of like 14 would need parental supervision in order to stream on the platform. And so as long as there's parental supervision, I'm sure it's fine. This is the same on Twitch. There are underage people who do stream on Twitch who are very young with parental supervision, but most of the time they don't have parental supervision. I don't know. I don't think that. I think that the thing is that there's this problem. Twitch is like or Kick is kind of like this mixture of a big company and a small startup at the same time. It's a group of friends and a corporation. It's like it's a weird situation where you have people who are chilling and who are just like gamers, and then you have people who are trying to make business. And I think that there's a lot of discrepancies that probably come within that, and there's a lot of like not typical work experience that comes with that. I think that if it is true, which there's no real way to validate if the Kick staff are saying bad words at the office, I think that if it is true, then they shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do it. Just don't do it. Or alternatively, if you want to do that and have like a company that's just a group of friends chilling, then make sure it's only a group of friends that you're employing. You either have to be a business or you have to be a group of friends company. You can't be both at the same time, and you have to give it a little bit of professionalism in that regard. Otherwise, you're going to have bad PR. The fact that she was surprised about contracts, trying to get cheap contracts for is just very silly. I think almost naive. I don't think that she was very smart in that personally, because I think that no matter what, businesses are going to try and get as cheap of contracts as possible, and by any means necessary. It's how businesses function, because if businesses were just giving away money as cheap as humanly possible, then they would not be able to stay in business, you know? So of course they're going to be very excited. If they went out of their way to say like, wow, this autistic guy, we got him for so cheap because of his autism, ha ha ha, fuck him, then that's like a whole different story than saying like, we got him for so cheap, we got him for pennies on the dollar, blah blah blah, but not mentioning his autism. Unless the autism is specifically mentioned as a reason, then she's the one bringing up the autism, and I don't think that could have even, it could have been a reason, right? But unless it's brought up specifically, I don't think it should be a negate against somebody. Otherwise, you're just treating them like any other person that they're trying to contract, you know? I don't really care if I get a kick contract or not. I'm not really looking to get any contracts from anyone or anything. I just wanted to say my own opinion about things, because I like getting to voice my opinions about stuff. I'm pretty... I don't think Kick is the devil, but I also don't think Kick is an angel. I think that Kick is kind of like a bit of a mixture of both. I feel like it's like a group of friends making a business, but also a business trying to be a business. And I think that there are going to be some hard discrepancies with that if there's not some guidelines that are put in place to make sure that the professionalism stays professional, especially if you're not only hiring friends. You're going to have people who are going to be like, what the fuck? It's a new platform. Every new platform has issues. See Blizzard, see Microsoft, see every other fucking company that's out there. YouTube. Literally every company has had these major issues. Twitch used to have crazy issues. You got to give it time to adjust and flow and turn into corpo work world. And coming out with statements like this is a good way to find out where the issues are. I do think that as well, she kind of had a pretty telling statement in there that she left early that day after the meeting. It makes me question how much time she was taking to work from home and leave early, because she said that she blatantly lied when she said that they said she could no longer work from home, because that's not true. When she showed the message, it literally said she just had to ask for permission first. So it made me wonder, well, she left early that day as well. How much time was she really taking off, and how much of that was part of the problem? How much of it was working from home versus working in the office being an issue? I'm not trying to say that she's a bad person in any way, or that what she's saying is wholeheartedly untrue, but I think that everybody can have a bit of a bias spread toward their own situation and have that create have it create a narrative of bias towards your own situation. You're going to just have a bias no matter what. But I think that Twitch and YouTube have tons of gambling streams. Yeah, it's true. they do. They have tons of them. Both of them. That's so funny. Twitch openly promotes sports gambling, but you know, I guess some gambling is okay, but some gambling is not okay. I personally don't agree with it. I think that if you're gonna have a moral disposition against gambling, you gotta set the standard and say all gambling is wrong then, and not allow it. I think that what she said about taking time off was the biggest discrepancy for me. Like her saying that she wasn't allowed to go take time off to be with her daughter, to pick her daughter up from school. Understandable, but that's not what was said in the post that she literally showed a few minutes later. So I felt like that was just made me question the rest of her take and the integrity of her statement. when she had just very opposing what she said versus what was said were completely just inaccurate. Before, she went from being able to take off time whenever she wanted without saying anything to anybody to having to say something before she took that time off. That's not the same as you're not allowed to take time off. It just means that you have to let somebody know before you do it, which is very fine, in my opinion. That's pretty typical for working. I thought you would normally have to do that, right? I don't know. I haven't worked in a, like when I was working in retail, it's not the same. You know, if I don't give a statement saying that I'm not going to show up to work, then I get fired. So it's a little different, I think, working for corporations. I'm not really sure. But yeah, that's my drama take for the day. Feels good, man. Now I have to go play Elden Ring. No more stalling.